Okay, you all, I am live. If someone can come in and give me a sound check, a mic check, let me know how the sound is because whenever I live stream in my vehicles, sometimes the Bluetooth connects to the vehicles automatically and my AirPods are not connected. So let me make sure that this is not choppy. Somebody let me know if you can hear me so I can make sure that the sound is coming through my iPods and not connected to my eyes. Okay. Okay, I got on my phone to check. So thanks. And not connected to my phone, I mean my Bluetooth in my vehicle. So then live stream yesterday, was traveling over the weekend and um, just want to spend some time with family, undisturbed from live streaming. But someone asked me to break down the solstice, so I will do that on memory as much as I can. Hello, Dr. Forms. You all can come in and say hello, but know that I am being attentive to the road. So I'm not really looking at the comments, but I will read the comments as soon as I finish the live stream. So please come in and say hello. Wishing you all had a very Merry Christmas, which if you study history, you know that's the Mass of Christ. The Mass of Christ. I won't get into the Mass of Christ, but I will briefly talk about the winter solstice. Also, I'm going to talk. This thought came to my mind this morning. You know, the hello, Miss Howard. I briefly saw you say hello. Apologies for typo. No problem. No problem. Just keeping my eyes on the road. You all hit that like, hit that thumbs up. Let's invite some people in. And I briefly had this thought of what would the rich do? What would the rich do? We are maybe you are familiar with the WWJD. What would Jesus do in certain situations? And I woke up this morning thinking about what would the rich do in this recession type environment. That all signals in 2023 are leading into a great recession that would transform into a depression comparable to 1930s Great Depression. What would the rich do? I found out from putting a post on my Facebook that most people um, only operate, the mass majority of Americans and the global economy only operate from an earned income perspective, meaning that they always have to do the work to get paid, right? They only stay at that level. And then you have some people that take it a step further. They level up mainly through, I'm going to speak from the network marketing perspective, right? I'm going to elaborate on this from the network marketing perspective. Some people step up their game and they get involved in residual income. And I'll tie real estate into residual income as well. Through network marketing, the very promise of hope, right, of transitioning from a job, also known as earned income, is the residual income pay. But when you're in a network marketing opportunity, most people do not pay attention to verbiage, right? For example, they think they are earning passive income when the income is really residual. Even in the compensation plan, they tell you you get residual income. And most people don't know the difference between residual and passive income. So, residual income, even as it relates to real estate, is very people dependent, right? In network marketing, for example, your residual income is very dependent on the amount of people that stays active in your organization, the amount of people that you can build, right? It's a very team building sport, very people centered, right? If people continuously subscribe to the company or purchase the products or the weight loss tea or the healing sprays or whatever their products or whatever the services they are providing, right? I love digital services when it comes to network marketing. I prefer digital services and not physical products. And so as long as those people are subscribing to the services on a monthly basis, in most part, that's residual pay. It is just like if you have rental properties or a rental property, and as long as your tenant, right, as long as your tenant stayed in that rental property, as long as they didn't continue to pay you, as long as they don't default on the rent payments, as long as they don't decide they need to move for whatever reasons, then you get residual pay. So it's very people connected, right? You got to have people, individuals connected to that. And the more people that continuously support the products and services, right, then your money comes in residually. However, passive income does not work that way. Passive income means, and I'm going to relate this to network marketing, right? Because a lot of you all that follow me are network marketers. It's based off percentages, not necessarily people. Residual income is based off people. Passive income is based off percentages. For example, if you had stocks and you are earning a certain amount of interest from dividend stocks, then that's passive income, right? Don't know people. It's based off the percentages. How did that business, you're buying into a business when you are investing in the stock market, not the stocks. That's number one. You're investing in the business, but not the stock. So how the business does, if the business is in the green or in the red, and you earn a percentage of that. Now, I have both residual and passive income, right? Now, some people have passive income sitting in vehicles that does not pay them on a monthly basis, like dividends would pay you in stocks, but yet pay them passively based off the percentages, right, on a yearly basis or annual basis. Now, I'm in a passive income opportunity. Let me put this on the screen, which I forgot to do. I'm connected with cryptocurrency that pays daily, a daily passive opportunity that's connected with cryptocurrency and the definition of wealth God's way, which is commodities. It is the wealth resources in this universe, in this earth realm, which is aluminum, gold. Next month in January will be silver-backed cryptocurrency. Next month it will be another cryptocurrency introduced called Drip. That's based off water energy frequency, right? Black gold, which is crude oil, gold, and then you have your natural gas that we consume and use every day, and that's even more consumed and used in the winter months, right? I've heard some family members on last night talk about the increase of their natural gas bill that increased over $200 from last month to this month because of the cost of natural gas, of heating their homes and their other utilities. So this is why having passive income, right? You have equitable income. You have income, equitable income, also known as income based off capital gains, is when you flip things. For example, if you purchase physical, tangible silver and gold, you hold on to that. You buy and hold until the price skyrockets to a price that you like, that's favorable for you, and then you then in return cash in for your capital gains. Real estate, you buy a property, renovate it, right? Fix it up, flip and fix, and now list that property for sale, and you get the capital gains from that sale from your investment. That's not passive income, because what happens with capital gains income is, pay attention to this real close, you have to sell the asset. You have to sell the asset, which means you're not a long-term holder on the asset. Hello, Pastor Payne, the my salt and pepper, my most handsome salt and pepper pastor, right, that I've seen on social media. So he's tuning in. And so, Pastor Payne, stay to the end. We're gonna talk about the winter soldiers. And Miss Howard, I will definitely try to read your comments when I come to a stop, because I'm on my way to the bank, right? So let's go. And so with capital gains, right, you have to sell the asset, which is not really what you want to do if you're a long-term thinker, visionary, right? You're selling the goose that's laying the golden eggs for you. You're selling that house that can cash flow. And I'm not against that, because listen, if you are cash poor, you need capital gains. You might need to flip. My first rental property, let me adjust this phone. My first rental property was a house that I purchased on my credit card. That's why I can't listen to Dave Ramsey about cut up my credit cards. My credit cards purchased me a house. Yeah, give me a second. You know my nails are so long, it's hard for me to grip this phone. So I didn't listen to Dave Ramsey when I first went to college and got a credit card. In fact, I got that credit card from my college campus. It was a Discover credit card. I discovered that Discover can give me assets. Let me say that again. I discovered, right? Yeah, selling the goose that produced the golden egg, Pastor Payne. That's what people do. I discovered that Discover can give me assets. So what I did was I found this property. My former principal at a school and his wife lived there. Very nice 3-bedroom home with a patio, right? Got that property, and they wanted $5,000. Now this is back in the 90s, right? You won't find it anymore probably, but it was back in the 90s. It was a fixer upper for sure. I took my Discover credit card. You have those checks that come with your credit cards. I wrote a check to myself, cashed it in the bank, and I'm $5,000 because they wanted a cashier's check for the house, right? I'm $5,000 rich. Credit can be converted into cash. I don't know if you all know that, and even credit cards. So, because I didn't have a job at that time, I'm a college graduate, fresh out of graduate. So there are some ways that you can flip the game and use the debt that they want to get you in college to trap you for life, and use it to build assets. You know, I tell my daughter, if you want to look at student loans, why not take out student loans? It's the easiest that you can get, and pay cash for the education. We'll pay cash for the education, but now you take the student loan and purchase some homes. And so that's capital gains. With capital gains, again, you have to sell the goose that lays the golden eggs for you, which is the asset. People are stacking silver, for example, with the concept of, okay, I'm going to now take this silver and invest it for cash. I'm going to get back into the government system and take the government's money, and I'm getting out of God money. But that I stack silver for more, right? Um, Somebody said, send me a text. Somebody just sent me a text that said, I discovered that Discover can buy me assets. I really did. Someone just texted me that from a 619 number. I see you. I discovered that Discover can buy me assets and not just liabilities. And I flipped the game, right? At an early age, straight out of college. And that's where my real estate investing began. And so residual income is always people focused. Like, um, it's how many, like Pastor Payton is a pastor of a church. How many members do you have? How many members do you have that's working? How many are employed? How many are able to tithe? How many are able to give? So it's very, residual income is people focus and people business. But today, live stream, I'm talking about passive income. See, what would the rich do in a recession as we have millions of people right now without electricity up north? Millions. We got people that's electrical and light bills about to explode and get higher, and their income is not increasing because they are operating from an earned income perspective. Some of them don't even have assets to flip to get capital gains for a quick flip, right? To survive. So what will rich people do? Well, let me tell you this, you all, the rich has money flowing in, and most people that are the poor working class and middle class always have money flowing out. That's the number one lesson that I want you to understand about the rich. The rich understand how to have money flowing in. They understand and they control money flow, also known as cash flow. The poor, working class, and middle class always have money flowing out. Yesterday was a celebration of Christmas, the Mass of Christ. I'm gonna get into the winter solstice and I'm break that down like 5 minutes so I won't confuse you because many people never heard of the winter solstice or study it. Um, they don't even understand, where we get Christmas celebration from. Because if you read the Bible, you can question that the Bible does not state that Jesus was born in a cold winter month like December. So I'm gonna break that down to you. But the rich has money flowing in and working for them. The middle class has money flowing out and they work for money. Passive income. Passive income is where your money is flowing in, and Ms. Pay made a statement. We have money coming in on a daily basis. I'm not talking about a cash value life insurance policy that you have to wait maybe some months or years before you can pull the cash out. No, I'm not talking about any type of asset that you get your 8 to 10% return at the end of the year, which is very little when you compare that to inflation, right? We're having at least 14% inflation average on a monthly basis. So 8 to 10% payout is really not helpful in a recession. Ms. Howard says, Queen, I made more with this crypto passive income within the last few weeks than I make on letting my money sit in the bank every month. I'm telling you, like, rich people don't have their money sitting in the bank every month. What would the rich do? Why? Because their money is not working for them, right? And you all know I love to teach from a biblical perspective, but biblically, the only time something was stored up, we can even look at Malachi 3, where it says, bring food in my house, in the storehouse, so that I can have meat, so I can have food on the reserve to feed the people. See, the only time something is stored up is with the intent to distribute out. Let me say that again, because I teach Bible economics. The only time something is stored up is with the intent to distribute out. You don't just save money. Matthew 25 teaches this. You don't just save money and you don't have it in circulation. See, people that gave gifts yesterday, right, in celebration, whether they thought it was religious celebration, they don't know about the winter solstice. But the people that gave gifts yesterday and kept the money circulating in the marketplace are people that took their money and invested in themselves through this passive opportunity. They kept money circulating. See, the whole point of Matthew 25 is your money should never just be saved, it should be circulated. Let me say that again. The whole point of Matthew 25 is your money should not be idle, it should not be buried, it should be circulated. You cannot beat God giving, whether it's in the universe. And I say this, I orient this over and over again. Deion Sanders had no choice but to get an upgrade in his pay because he gave $150K to Jackson State. Now, I'm not trying to rhyme, but it rhymes a little bit. When you give out, when you put your money in the marketplace, and sometimes you will be instructed to give, and sometimes you will be instructed to invest. The Bible has a whole lot of principles about recognizing investing opportunity, recognizing opportunities. So what would rich people do? Let's break down the notes. Rich people has money flowing in and working for them. The poor, working class and middle class has money flowing out and they work for money. That's number one. Rich people choose cash flow over income. That's number two. Rich people choose cash flow over income. Number three, rich people choose their time. I used to treasure people that had a whole lot of money. Now I treasure people that get the choice and financial freedom to choose what they want to do with their time. Rich people choose time over money. Money buys back time. Money can buy time. In fact, the Bible says it can redeem times. In Ecclesiastes, it says money answers all things. Where when you get your money working harder for you than you work for it, now you can have time. You can have cash flow and time flow at the same time. Where you used to put in 40 hours a week, now you choose your financial freedom of what you do with your time. Rich people choose investing over inflation. Rich people choose investing over inflation. Investing, and Pastor Payne, you're so right about the seed, but sometimes most churches, they just stop at the seed. They don't teach how to get the harvest. Investing is a part of getting the harvest. Putting your money to work harder for you. See, my parents, my grandparents, I'm from Mississippi, right? And my grandparents had different tools to plant the seed than they did to reap the harvest. That's why the Bible says use the scepter. The scepter. See, August and September is known as harvest months. This even ties into the winter solstice. Um, the harvest months, right? You got the Virgo month, which is August. This is where you get the Virgin Mary, right? But the scepter, the Bible talks about using a scepter to get the harvest. It's a different tool, it's a different strategy. And you can't stop just at the seed. Yes, it's important to know about the seed, but then you need to know how to now get the harvest. The tools that my grandparents used to tilt the ground, to prepare the ground, prepare the soil, and then to go reap the harvest. And the strategy was very different. In fact, when you look at Matthew 13, right, it talks about the kingdom of heaven. What is the kingdom of heaven? The kingdom of heaven is understanding investing. The kingdom of heaven. The Bible interchanges the kingdom of heaven with the kingdom of God. Most people don't know the difference. But the kingdom of heaven is talking about investing. Matthew 13, a portion of the kingdom of heaven talks about investing, not all. But it says the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls, starting at verse 45. When he found one of great value, he went and sold everything he had and he bought it. See, how do you harvest? You find investing opportunities. And when you find them, in order to upgrade your finances, you take advantage of opportunities. Then it goes into Matthew 13 and 47. Once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that went down into the lake, and it caught all kinds of fish, various of fish, different types of fish. But when the net was full, the fishermen pulled it out of the shore and they sat down and they depicted the good fish from the others in baskets, and they threw the bad ones away. And so I know that scripturally, pastors take that and say, oh, it's this how it's gonna be at the end of our ages. The angels gonna come and separate the good from the bad. But to me, it's like the kingdom of heaven is like a man who found a great treasure or a great pearl, and he went buried that treasure to invest. These are all investing opportunities of how to grow your self-worth, your income, and your mindset. So I always ask the people, like, or I always want to know from my viewers, do you like cash flow or do you like income? Again, rich people have money flowing in, the poor working class has money flowing out. And so I have to educate people on their finances. And in order to get them to get their finances in order, you don't have to sell anything, right? This is a very practical and powerful way to get passive income. And then you get these cryptocurrencies that's backed by God's real wealth. The Bible tells you, even in the book of Genesis, that Abraham was very rich. And so people want to say, oh, he was just spiritually rich. No, It broke down what made Abraham rich, right? Gold, silver, land, livestock. From the ages of the world, wealth, riches and wealth will never cease to not be God's creations on this earth. Now, someone from a 619 number, you just text me cash flow. So let me know if you want to increase your cash flow, because I help people first increase their cash flow. I help them find the money that they may not have to invest to get the passive income, because I believe there is levels to this shift. But if you already have the money and you want the passive income, then text me CC so you can grow the money that you're already having. And so, people, with that being said, like Jesus, gold, silver, and livestock. All right. All right. So you want the cash flow. I got you, 619. I got you. So I text you this. I'm at the bank right now, but I'm about to end with the winter solstice. I'm going to end with this. How's that connected with Christmas? All right. So I text you about the cash flow and the cryptocurrency that's backed by commodities, God's wealth for passive income. I text you both. All right. So winter solstice. During the 6 months, this is where you get time change. Now, I know you're going to say, Queen, you just finished talking about money. Now you finna get into some spiritual stuff. Well, money is spiritual. Money is spiritual. And I teach everything from biblical based perspective. But at any rate, this last 6 months of the year, this is why you have a time change and daylight savings time. I don't even know if you can question it. But what happens is the sun, S-U-N, begins to drop its lowest for 6 months, right? The lowest towards the south than it's ever dropped. And this is why this is when the night, we have longer nights, darkness overtakes the day because of this. But during December the 22nd, what happens during December the 22nd is the sun continues this downward spiral. And starting December the 22nd, it drops low and low and low and low. But December the 25th, what happens, and you can go and study astrology if you want to, or just look up winter solstice. The sun stops. All of a sudden, it pauses. And it moves just one degree up north. It moves 1 degree up north. And it gives the promises or forecast ahead that spring will come and we have sunlight. And what happens with that is Sirius, you have Sirius, the brightest star that there is, and 3 stars around Orion's belt, right? All are in alignment with the sun on the 25th of being at its highest point or moving 1 degree north that it has been within the last 6 months. With the promise, because we know that the sun, SUM, provides us life. It shines on food and give us vegetation, give us something to eat. In the Bible, it talks about the sun, coming through the clouds, even though they spell it S-U-N, S-O-N and not S-U-N. And so the sun, people understood that back in those days, especially during agriculture, that without the sun coming, right, life and plants and food and all that seems to die when the winter comes, right? And so the sun is like a savior. So during December 25th, the sun starts to move actually 1 degree towards the north after dripping for 3 days, being like dead and buying for 3 days to the lowest point of the south. Now, in doing so, the sun forms a crux, C-R-U-X, or a cross. And this is where you get the birth of the sun based off winter solstice and the 3 days of dipping or lowering, the lowest it's ever been, with the promise, right, that spring will come in March and then we'll have longer daylight because now the season is we have the longest nights of darkness than we do of light, longest hours. This is where you get daylight savings time. This is why. This is what man can't control. But they tell you to set your clocks back or spring them forward because this is what's happening in the universe, in this earth realm. And so, with that being said, that's why you have the magi's mentioned in the Bible. Now, the Bible does not say three magi's. It did just say magi's. It did say plural. It does specify, however, the three gifts. The three magi's are represented by the three stars that are in alignment with Orion's belt, with Sirius being the brightest star. On Christmas Day, that's all pointing to the sun, that the hope or forecasting that spring will come and the sun will then begin to dominate its daylight over the moon and darkness that winter represents. So that's the winter solstice. That's why the Mass of Christ or Christmas, and you have to really study astronomy and anatomy to even know where the name Santa Claus come from an anatomy perspective, in the Christ, which is called the Christos, and the sacrum that rises and come down the chimney. But I won't get into that because, again, I have to go to the bank. But that's my very, very short teaching of the winter solstice and why Christmas and the sun, S-U-N, are celebrated on the 25th. But giving is a very special thing, people. Um, there are some people, for example, that did not give yesterday. They only took. They came to somebody's house and they ate. They didn't bring a gift. They didn't give. I don't agree with overspending or spending what you don't have or spending in a time frame just because it is the tradition or season's greeting. But if you have it to spend and in the spirit of Christmas, even though, it's not really, I tell Christians all the time, like, this this is a Christian celebration holiday. So why do you have to tell lies about Santa Claus and the origin of who's bringing gifts? And when you how can something Christian centered be also lying centered as well? I don't condone people feeling pressure to give what they don't have or what they should not be spending, or I don't like people to get half-heartedly educated about spiritual principles, because as surely as you are taught to give, you have to learn how to harvest as well. Surely as you're taught to give seeds, you have to know how to retrieve the harvest. And that's like, it should be no, just give and it shall be given unto you. Yes, but what if they're giving back to you? Because the Bible does state man should give unto your bosoms. Like, how you're going to get the wealth of the wicked, and you don't even know where the wicked wealth is. You don't even know where their wealth is. You don't even know where to put your money. Because some people just religiously think, oh, it's just going to come into my hands. No. The Bible teaches us over and over again, money comes to those that know how to manage it and that know how to place it into opportunities, Matthew 25, that will bring them back more money. And people that only know how to save, or they stop at the seed and they don't know how to retrieve the harvest, they will have the little they have taken away. Because people perish because of lack of knowledge and from lack of taking actions when the opportunity of blessings present themselves. I want you to go back and read Matthew 25, and I'm logging off. But the one thing the man that had the most money, the most talents did, and the Bible emphasized this, and it placed this word in here for a reason. It stated that the man went to work immediately. It put that word in there for a reason. Immediately took action and put his money to work. Then it tell you the man that had little, and even that little was taken away over time, had a long time to make decisions to improve their financial situation. And he didn't. Over a long time, when the master returned to get his money, he said, here, I've saved what you've given me. See, the kingdom of heaven is never to stay at the level that you are. You're always supposed to be, as Deion Sanders would say, elevating in the kingdom. and advancing. God never wants to return back for what he gave you. He expects elevation and advancement to happen. You should always spiritually, financially, mentally be elevating and advancing. Are you in the same spot you've been financially for years? Are you still at the same income you had for years? Have you not been investing your money for years? Do you not want to experience what passive income is? Do you not want to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer that this generation has ever seen? Because people, there's a wealth transfer happening right now. But if some people is going to get poorer because they are doing the same things and not expanding their mindset or their investing opportunity, while some people are going to get richer. And I'm leaving on this note. You cannot become rich if you hate the rich. There's a whole lot of people talking about you should tax the rich. The rich got this. I hate the rich. The rich got this. The rich got that. The rich got this. The rich, 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 rich. Fuss about the rich. Fuss about Trump and Trump having the knowledge of having tax shelters. That's another thing that a rich person does. What would rich people do? They have tax shelters. They don't allow the bulk of their money, whether it's earned income through a paycheck or 1099 income or six figures, to be taken away in taxes. Taxes steal your cash flow. Taxes steal your income. That's why I asked the person, if you need more cash flow and you want to get instant income out of your paycheck and see if you're overpaying in taxes, go to my website, Millie Moves, but don't text cash flow to that number on the screen. The number at the bottom for CC is for people that want to earn passive income through cryptocurrencies that's backed by God's commodities, real wealth, real use. Because going into next year, the cryptocurrencies that's going to start giving you gains and pumping are going to be the ones that have real use cases, people. These cryptocurrencies that had no use cases, that was just, hype coins. They're not going to pump next year in that season. Only the cryptos. And so you could be earning money, not every month, not every year, but every day. So if you have money sitting and not working for you, you're losing. So that's the number to text CC to 331-444-5556 if you want your money working for you every day in the marketplace, like Matthew 25. If you need more cash flow, instant income, then go to the website Millie Moves. All right, you are. I'm signing out because I'm making Millie Moves. I'm at Chase Bank. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like and share button. Y'all have a blessed day today. Queen out.